Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucia and this is Lulu's Leaves.
I'm no good at being good, but I never said I was. And I feel misunderstood cause I'm trying hard to love.
Today I'm going to be talking to you guys all about my top 10 favorite plants of 2020. And I can't wait to show you guys these plants. I have been gushing over so many of them for so long now, and I just thought that I may as well start this as a yearly series, basically, just telling you guys my favorite plants of every single year. It only makes sense. Before we get into the video though, guys, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for everything that you have done for me this year. Not in a million years would I think that I would be able to start a channel like this and have so many of you guys there watching every single video. You guys mean the world to me, and I'm just really grateful for your viewership and your commitment to watching my channel. So thank you, and I definitely want to give you guys all that I have this next year because you deserve it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that button down below so that you don't miss out on my other videos. And if you enjoyed today's video, you can also give it a huge thumbs up down below. But let's finish off this year with a bang and just get straight on into the video. So the first plant that I want to talk about is one that I actually received as a larger plant than it is now, but it has slowly grown back from a stump after it kind of died. But it's looking so good, and I'm so proud of this plant for making a comeback. And I'm also proud of myself because this was the first stump that I was ever able to bring back from the dead. So if you don't know the plant that I'm talking about already, I am talking about my Philodendron Splendid. This guy here has just exploded with growth, and this has happened within only about a few months. I'd say 3 months since this turned into a stump the first time. So yeah, we have some really cute looking leaves here. They're super velvety still, which is really nice. And there's now actually 3 growth points when there was only 1 to begin with. So that's also super exciting. I will eventually have lots of different plants that I can propagate, and that really excites me because I absolutely love the philodendron crosses. I think that they're probably some of my favorite plants. You'll see there's another philodendron cross in this video, but yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites. So yeah, I can't wait to show you guys this plant in a few months, and hopefully there are some larger leaves. I'm hoping that they can grow in size pretty quickly, and they've already shown me that they can for the most part. So again, I'm really looking forward to watching this one grow back up. But yeah, this is the Philodendron Splendid. The next plant on my list is another philodendron. This is a really cool one that I don't think a lot of people have. I wouldn't say it's necessarily super rare, but it's definitely more uncommon, at least in Canada. And it's looking a little bit awkward right now because I did take a cutting of it a while back, but it's growing back so beautifully, more beautiful than I could ever imagine. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. This here is the Philodendron Snowdrift. It has this really big awkward leaf right now because that's all I was left with after I took some cuttings. But look at all of the new beautiful growth. It's all coming in super long and white, which is really cool. This one is starting to fade to its green color. It will eventually look more like this one with some darker green splashing in there. So that's really fun. But this plant is just super spectacular. There's also a new growth point right there. So hopefully that leaf comes out really nice and big. And I think once that leaf does come out, I'm going to chop this one off. It is a beautiful leaf, but it just looks so awkward compared to these ones, and I don't think that it's ever going to look in place. Does that make sense? Not out of place. So yeah, I've considered doing it already, but I want a few more leaves before I do that. and I do have 2 separate growth points on this plant, so I'm pretty sure that it will bulk up pretty quickly. That is one of the biggest advantages of propagating, in my opinion, where you did have 1 leaf that you cut off, or at least 1 growth point. Typically I get at least 2 back, which is more than you could ask for. So yeah, that is really, really awesome. I can't wait to watch this one grow up too. I have never had these leaves come in so white before, so I'm definitely happy about that as well. The next plant I want to talk about is one of my favorite Hoyas of the year, and that is the Hoya Matilde. This is a beautiful, beautiful plant, and it grows so quickly. I got this one as a probably 7 leaf cutting, 6 or 7 leaves, and now look what it has become. It's so beautiful, and it also has, I believe, a peduncle. It hasn't really done anything quite yet, but I'm still hopeful that something will happen there. It might just shrivel up and die, but I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. Yeah, this one is definitely one of my favorites because it is a hybrid. It's a hybrid between 2 of my favorite Hoyas, just the regular Hoya carnosa and the Hoya serpens, which I also really am loving, but it's not quite big enough for me to call it my favorite yet. But the Matilde is just so easygoing. It doesn't ask much from you at all. So definitely lower maintenance plants make this list for me every day. But yeah, definitely if you can get your hands on one of these, do it. If they aren't too expensive, I only spent $30 on a smaller cutting of this plant, but I definitely wouldn't spend more than that on a starter plant. But if you can get a larger one for a little bit more expensive, go for it. Just don't spend a crazy amount because I'm sure the price will go down. These are not super uncommon. But yeah, that is the Hoya Matilde. Beautiful, beautiful plant. The next plant that I want to talk about is actually one that I never thought would make this list, but it definitely has after having it for a little bit. And I feel like the pot plant combo has definitely pushed it up the ranks. This here is the Deschetia Million Hearts. This pot is so perfect for this plant. I find it has some really nice Greek vibes to it. I don't know why, but I'm just feeling it. It has really beautiful long vines there, and it's just growing like a weed. Especially because it has so many growth points, it's going to grow faster. That's just how that goes. But this is definitely a plant that I didn't think I needed, but now that I have it, I'm really loving it. And I got this for such an amazing price. It was only $10, so I couldn't pass it up. And now I'm really grateful that I didn't, because it is on my top 10 favorite plants of 2020 list. So, I mean, it's made it pretty far. This next one won't come as a big shock to you guys. I've shown it in many of my favorite videos before. This is a beautiful aroid that I just love it. You know it already. This is the Philodendron Bilitis. This is my favorite aroid at the moment. Actually, it's hard to say. I just got my dream plant. I got the Anthurium regale, which, spoiler alert, is a part of this video, but this is my favorite philodendron for sure, hands down. But yeah, it has some damage. I think it had spider mites, or it might have got too much light, or a combination of both, but it has recovered. There are no longer any spider mites on it. It's putting out beautiful new leaves here, and this leaf is a really, really nice size too. They're starting to come out more consistent, and I'm hoping that with every new leaf we'll get a little bit more length on it. But again, this is just a crazy stunning plant, and when I got it about, I would say probably close to 6 months ago now, maybe 5 months ago, it only had 2 or 3 leaves. I think it was 2 leaves, and now it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and another one on the way. So it's definitely a quick grower. If you like plants that give you some instant gratification, this is definitely one of them. And it's also just super, super beautiful. I don't know how you could pass that up. It also has really nice orangey petioles, so that is a really cool feature of it as well. This plant is definitely my spirit plant, and if I were any plant, I would be the Biliti. I think one day I'll probably have to sacrifice a leaf and make a Halloween costume out of this and put it as a tie because that's how much I love it. That's really dumb. I'm not gonna do that actually. But yeah, this is just such an easygoing plant, so easy to care for. So if you really want something that's going to explode in your care and take care of itself, basically, this is the one for you. The next plant on this list probably is not coming to you as a surprise either. This is my second favorite. Actually, this is my first favorite philodendron cross or hybrid. This is the Philodendron Glorious. That's what this is. And it has grown incredibly since I got it. It came with this one single leaf, a really large leaf at that. And then it put out this one, which I think got some light damage, but it's still doing okay. And then it put out this perfect leaf. And then it put out this equally beautiful but damaged leaf. It just got stuck and I didn't really notice until it was too late. And then now, there is another new leaf on the way. So this plant is definitely a really, really fast grower as well. It's kind of a trend here that my favorite plants are fast growing plants because, there's always something to enjoy. That's kind of how I see it, at least. Obviously, you can still enjoy plants if they're not growing super quickly, but I'm a huge fan of growing my area, my space into a little jungle. So if I can do that as quickly as possible, I will, and I will continue to purchase plants that grow this quickly. But yeah, look at this. It is just so beautiful. And it's on this Trofolia moss pole, which is such a great moss pole. It's self-watering, so if you well, is it self-watering? I don't know. You water the top of it and it kind of disperses through the entire pole without watering your plant, which is an excellent feature because you definitely don't want to drown your plant. But yeah, this is definitely my favorite moss pole if you're looking for one. The next plant here is one that I recently purchased, and it's definitely one that I do not regret. I love this plant. It's not growing super quickly, but it's got plenty of leaves, so I'm not disappointed at all. But this is one of my only Monsteras, to be honest. I don't have many at all, but yeah. This here is my Monstera Pinata Partita. This is such a beautiful plant, and especially when they're mature, they just have the most incredible foliage. This is pretty mature foliage if you ask me, but when they get giant, they get really giant. And I definitely prefer this to the Monstera Deliciosa. It's definitely quite a bit more uncommon than the Monstera Deliciosa. I haven't seen these around much at all, especially at this size. But if you can get your hands on one, definitely do so. I wouldn't say the growth pattern is for everyone. I'll show you here. It kind of stacks and fishtails a little bit. I would say that it grows similar to how my Monstera Stanleyana grew. I don't think that it needs a moss pole, at least not now while it's still pretty compact. It could probably use one in the future, and when it does need one, I will get on that. But right now it looks a little bit silly with a moss pole, so I'm holding off for now. But again, really beautiful foliage. I like that it doesn't have secondary fenestrations and it's just the slits basically, rather than the holes as well. But yeah, it's so beautiful and I can't wait to watch this one grow. It's a pretty common trend around here. Just really excited to watch them all grow. That's the best part of having plants, in my opinion at least. But yeah, here is the Monstera Pinata Partita. The next plant on this list is probably one of the coolest plants that I own. I don't know if that's true. Definitely one of the more popular plants that I own. This here is the Philodendron El Choco Red. You guys have heard me talk about this one so much in my videos, and for good reason. It's just such a cool growing plant, and I'm really grateful that I was able to get one. I got this from Plant Haven through a trade. That was really, really nice. I don't think I would be able to have this plant if it weren't for them. So that's super duper awesome. It's currently pushing out a new leaf at the moment. So that's gonna be really exciting to have another leaf on this plant. But the red backs on this guy are just super cool. They definitely do fade down a bit in my opinion, but when they do come out, they are super duper red. So I am looking forward to this one putting out that new leaf and me being able to see that new red back again. These guys are definitely a little bit pricier right now, which is unfortunate because it means that not everyone can get one, but hopefully the prices will come down soon and these will become a little bit more affordable again. Definitely, if you can though, try to trade your plants for one. If there's a trade that you can figure out, that's so awesome. And then you don't have to spend a ton of money on it. The last two plants on this list are my two new anthuriums. My Anthurium magnificum, which just has the most incredible large leaves, and it is putting out a new growth right now, which I'm super excited about. So cross your fingers that that doesn't get damaged on the way out and that it just stays nice and beautiful and big for me. But yeah, that one is definitely one of my favorites right now. And then definitely my favorite of the year that I have been trying to find is the beautiful Anthurium Regal. This one, oh, it's so nice, and I can't believe I found it for such a great price. Thank you again to Crystal Star Nurseries for supplying that plant to me for such an amazing price. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now I have to figure out what my new #1 wish list plant is. And don't worry, there will definitely be a new wish list video coming out in the new year because I did actually pick up a lot of the plants that were on my list. But I'm going to try to branch out and find some cool new plants to have on this list. So stay tuned for that. But that's gonna be all for this video, guys. I really, really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have an amazing new year. Let me know down below what your favorite plant was, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.